This episode is brought to you by Arlon Graphics, trusted for innovative high-performance cast vinyls. Check out their newest product, DPF V9500, a non-PVC polyurethane wall film built to tackle ultra-textured surfaces like a pro. More exciting new products to come soon from Arlon. Check them all out at Wensco.com. It feels weird now with I know the intro music is here, so the whole thing is weird. I'm used to it just being me when we do the intro, but anyways.
Let me start.
Do you want to start? Here's Mikey.
Want me to start? Hey, I just want to apologize for not being here last week. I hope last week's episode was decent, but it was just those two idiots, so it's probably terrible. So if you skipped it, we understand.
Right, thanks, Mikey. We're
but go ahead and introduce this one. I'm back.
From Grand Rapids, Michigan, it's the Slightly Serious Sign Podcast, starring Mike Hall, with his co-host Tyler Hall, and their sometime sidekick, Domingo Tobar. We invite you to join the show with today's relevant sign industry guest. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Mikey! Hey-o!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 84 of the Slightly Serious Sign Podcast. Yeah, we're still here. They haven't taken us off the air. Rick said we got an award for Best Wensco Podcast Duo in September of 2026. So there was a lot of competition. No, not a single other one. So that's kind of how me and Domingo prefer to get our awards when there's nobody else trying.
That's the only, listen, that's the only way you guys could win.
That's probably true.
If you're the only one playing.
Yeah. But it's still a win in the column.
I was going to say, it's a win.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a single loss. I don't enter unless I can win.
You still got your participation trophies up at home, too?
No, I think they're at your house right now.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't think, when Domingo played sports, I don't think they gave out participation trophies.
We did not. You either won or you lost. Just plain and simple.
Did they even give out trophies?
You know what?
Oh, yeah, they did.
No matter if I won or I lost, I always got yelled at by my parents for not playing hard enough. So it didn't matter to me. Win or lose, I know I'm in trouble for something I didn't do right.
Win or lose, you were a loser either way. That's what you're trying to say.
Yep.
Right, good to know.
That just means there's always room for improvement.
Yep. Either way, I knew I was walking home. Every time.
Broken leg or not.
Yep. And this is a true story. Broke my leg during a soccer game. And my dad came over to the sideline, said, hey, he really needs to go back in. Talk to the trainer. Trainer tried to take me up, tried to send me back in. I tried to run again, couldn't run again. And the bus came back, and it wasn't far to walk home from there. Walked home from the bus. That night we went out to, I think it was the mall. It was when the new mall was just started that we still call the new mall. Walked around the new mall. They're making fun of me for limping really bad. The next day I went to school. And when I came home we actually got to come home from school early because I remember there was a tornado warning and then it stopped, so enough time to get everybody home. And my mom said, okay, I'll take you to the doctor, but we know there's going to be nothing wrong with you. You're just faking, blah, blah, blah. Doctor comes in, broken tibia. Like, completely broken. He's like, he shouldn't have been walking. Like, they were making me walk. They were not only making me walk, they were making fun of me for walking. Well, so true story.
Yeah.
Tried to walk off a broken leg. Didn't work.
It's just like when you get a bruise, your mom spits on it. Hey, you're good to go. Get back out there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you didn't hurt yourself, you weren't trying hard enough. That's the rules to live by. So anyways, Jay, thanks for coming. We appreciate
Jay.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is great.
I love
and nice to be a part of the trauma story and how you've recovered here.
I haven't recovered yet.
Yeah.
So do you have any trauma stories as a child?
I do. We're drinking the wrong beverages to get into trauma stories and children.
Hey, he's got a cooler over there. Open it up. Let's go. Well, we can't put anything in this Coke?
No, unfortunately not.
I don't drink.
Good call. Yeah, Jay, thanks for coming. I appreciate you. We gave you a big heads up on this podcast, so we appreciate you making the trip, flying all the way in just to do this.
Literally,
this
podcast.
It worked out. Yeah, we appreciate it. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, who you are, who you work for, how long you've been there, and what your current role is.
All right, that's too many things. We'll start at the beginning. So yeah, Jay Kroll, I'm the Director of Product Education for General Formulations. I've been with GF for about 8 years now in sales and product management. Really, my career, my background has been in engineering, designing, developing solutions for different applications. I was in medical, doing aerospace things, performance tape, packaging components, and yeah, the last 8 years in the graphics field. And man, I remember going to my first. It was SGIA down in New Orleans. Just the hurricane had just missed it.
I remember that.
I remember that one. Yep.
Yep.
It stunk.
So first time.
Moldy.
Oh yeah.
Moldy.
New Orleans stinks. Sorry for those listeners in New Orleans. It's a beautiful city. certain areas, but you know the area down by the casino. Oh, some of those it's a little rough in the morning. Is that rain or is that urine? You know, as you're going for your morning run, it's a little rough.
That's how Long Beach is the same way. So
yeah, it absolutely can be. So going to that for the first time. And I remember coming from medical device shows. So everything was, and it was still adhesives. It was still flexible film, stick to skin stuff. But going from my first medical show to my first graphics show. And in medical shows, if you've ever been there, things are white, light blue, and blue. And that's, maybe some green thrown in every once in a while. And I walk into the hall in New Orleans and it's neon and it's color and it's just like, wow, where it's, Wizard of Oz when suddenly it's Technicolor in this huge bright dream. But with all that, it's adhesive solutions have been kind of in my guts, if you will. I've been playing with stickers for a long time for different applications and solving those problems and addressing that. It's still sticky side down, same as with other applications. So
for those that are down in the South, they're stickers, but here they're called decals. So I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing.
Or north of the border, decals. I found decals. That was neat.
That might just be the UP though. It might be their problem.
Yeah, but when you said you were at the ISA show, so you walk in and all you see is this. Wow. Yeah. Right? Oh. And then you smell, what is that? That's ink. That's solvent. Yeah. That's true solvent. That's, I remember doing that.
A little different feel, but I was working for a paper company at the same time. And so if you've ever been through paper country in central Wisconsin, Mosinee, where it's a pulp mill and a paper mill, man, it just smells like wet dog dragged through the sewer, like really gross. And the lifetime paper guys would be like, smells like money.
Yeah.
Which you've heard your sign guys say about the solvent room and the screen inks for years.
Yeah.
If you walk in your shop and you don't smell that smell, it means you might as well go home for the day.
You're not making money.
Printer's not printing.
Yep.
Yeah, so you moved into this newer role how long ago now?
Yeah, so in May, stepped in formally into the Director of Product Education role. And with that, I mean, I've a lot of my background history has been engineering solutions and then how do we talk about it? In education, I had more of an education or a teaching philosophy and psychology background. How do we talk about it? What's a way to make that resonate with people and engineering background as well. So and then how do we develop the solution in a way that meets the need? And then how do we talk about it? How do we constantly push and make things better too? So this new role, I get to take some of the stuff that I've been doing, wall graphic training as I was product manager over walls and transit materials and cut vinyl, teaching people about wall graphics. Cause Tyler, you did the install in here. Good job. Not great job, right? Good job.
They didn't even clean the walls.
No, it's,
They didn't even, there was drywall
he didn't
dust on the wall, and he just literally wrapped over the drywall dust.
I remember seeing worst case scenario. This is it.
I remember seeing some lumps in the back. I'm like, did you clean the wall? He goes, nobody's going to see that. You go,
it's worse than that.
They're going to see
There's
it.
screws in the wall behind the vinyl right now.
Very good.
I ain't got no time for that.
Yeah. Well, I was going to mount that up over it. And originally I was thinking, nobody will see it. Then I just realized it's clear. People actually probably would see it. Nobody's noticed so far.
So
we
can talk about proper training, proper materials, and best practices, and then we can talk about reality. And I've been on sites where they're installing material and it's brick block conformable wall stuff. And instead of even brushing, there was a restaurant in Chicago that they were installing our new 885 AE. So the rough mark cast stuff, there's kind of a beta demo, really, really cool install. But I'm watching the guy as he's installing, and he goes to lift it up, and chunks of brick and concrete are coming off. I'm like, he didn't even brush the wall, like not even lightly brush the wall on a raw brick, unsealed, unpainted wall, and everything's coming off with it. And it's okay. You may have just destroyed that panel. And he's like, no, I got something for you. And he grabs, I think it was Primer 71, the stuff that's like silly string. And he lifts that thing up and he just coats it like crazy. I'm like, oh, all of this could have been avoided if you'd just taken a minute, prep the surface, prep the wall, prep the job. He's like, nope, gotta get her done. And just, I
think him and I would get along well.
You might.
I do always find it funny when you sit in some of these trainings, right? And you're talking about, even a remotely textured drywall surface, right? And they're like, oh, going through the whole process. Oh, make sure you clean it, right? You don't want any dust or dirt.
Right.
And then that same film is going on brick. And you're like, so you're telling me on drywall, I need this thing to be spotless, but yeah, I can take this film. I don't care how well you brush brick once you get outside. That thing is just dirty inherently. Yeah. So you're like, I get it, right? You want it to be as clean as possible. But at the same time, you're saying like, okay, clean this as well as you can. And then on brick, just like brush it.
Just loosen up the powder. That's all.
Yeah.
Just lay your vinyl adhesive down
see
on
the
white
bottom. Powder coming down. Yeah.
And that, okay, so we're trying to balance things, and we do this from a design development standpoint. I had a transit material that was phenomenal. The adhesive, the film, like it matched the opacity that we needed. It was long-term, ultra removable, just really, really good. Like this is gonna change the way things are done, especially as a lot of buses are starting to be wrapped with vinyl instead of just painted, which totally changed. Vinyl adhesives like vinyl. So now I'm putting an advertisement on the side of the city bus, and I go to remove that after 30 days, and it's taking the wrap along with it. So I need to approach the adhesive a little bit differently. And so, man, we've got this formula. We kind of identify, we make the samples, we get it out to New York, and they're doing testing on it. And the installers start putting the panel down over stainless steel, and it's low tack, ultra removable, like, again, really cool stuff for what they're doing. And they stretch it over the high points on corrugated stainless steel and then hit it with a torch and try pushing it in. It's like, oh, but it's low tech and it's ultra removable and it's calendared and like all of those things. That's going to relax. That's going to pop back out of there. It's not the right solution for that surface. So we then take, from a product development standpoint, how's it actually going to be used? I'll regularly, like Dallas Fowler or Preston Jordan, some of the guys that we use for beta site, we'll give them a new material and be like, we developed it for this in the lab. Now beat the crap out of it. Do the things that guys in the field are going to do that they're not supposed to, right? And it's got to just work. So a lot of the wall graphics, same sort of thing. We need solutions that just work, even if you don't do your due diligence on all the prep and priming. And
yeah, I mean, when you guys came out with 885, you came here and we did the test on that.
Yep.
The brick wall that you shouldn't wrap here, right, in terms of the grooves that are in it. And you're like, will it fit in there? And he's like, I don't know. Let's try it. So we just heat it. And it just went right in. And you're like, nobody should ever do this. But in theory, with all vinyl, at some point you're going to run to a situation where it's like, I know this isn't rated for this, but it's included in this job, right? Like you're talking about that with the buses, right? Like the buses are completely flat, right? Except for we have this one section where we have this little seam that it needs to go into. And if it works everywhere else but doesn't work there, it's going to be like, well, this film doesn't work for us, right? Yeah. So sometimes you're running into situations like, should you do it? No. But we know people are going to do it. So we can tell you that we've tried it. It's probably going to fail. But if you need something short term, you might be able to get it to work at least. And I respect that you guys are putting in that work, right? Where everyone else would be like, absolutely don't even test it. Yeah.
And that was the feedback from the New York guys, is that, well, they're installing it, quote, wrong, right? So we could go through all kinds of training and requirements that they're going to do this. The second the supervisor's not there, they're going back to their old method. So again, it needs to work. And it needs to work when it's raining, and it needs to work when it's hot, and it needs to work in Miami, and it needs to work in Minneapolis. And so all these different things. And it's funny, we were talking a little bit earlier that make good choices, right? That I scream to my kids as they're getting out of the car and going into school, trying to embarrass them. But that really comes back down to just a fundamental thing that we need to make good choices when it comes to that. If we're doing things, we could talk about, like, if you're using Primer 71 to get your brick wall vinyl to stick because you didn't do your prep, you made a mistake there. You're not making a good choice. If you're always leaning towards heat or primers, you're feeling that tension from the material, that there's a good chance that you're overcompensating or you're not using the right material for the application.
You don't watch YouTube, because they show me all the time on YouTube, just heat it up and mash it.
Yeah, heat and
I see
mash.
it all the time. Works.
Yeah,
It
you
sticks.
start talking about different adhesives. You got acrylic adhesives, you got grade adhesives, you got UV, there's all kinds of different adhesives, but those adhesives stick to certain products. Certain materials, certain applications come in play. And I think a lot of people say, well, I want a cheap material. Okay, we can get you a cheap material, but it's not gonna last.
Yep.
Why is it curling when I put it on the wall?
I don't think a lot of people pay attention to like even like just normal stickers. I think of like the bowls you can buy at Walmart. Like $3 bowls. They have a sticker in the bottom.
Yeah.
That sticker needs to stick enough where they can get it to scan, but then be removable enough where they can just pull the sticker back where you don't end up with all the stuff on the bottom. It's like that kind of stuff. I'm looking at the sticker going like, smiling at like, how did they get that to stick so well, but it removed so easy?
Yeah.
So on a plastic
almost
surface,
all of it removes cleanly. There's always that little last that last little bit. Or,
I usually get it with my cereal.
Yeah, don't accidentally push it down as you're trying to pull it off, or then it's grim death and it's locked.
But I think you think about it from that perspective of packaging, right? When you think of like some of these bigger companies, right, where like everything they do is kind of dialed, right? Like when I get like something from, we were just talking about it earlier with Yeti, right? Like I never get anything from them that doesn't feel like, oh, this is Yeti quality, right? Every time I get it, I just think like, this is what I expect from them. And the reason is they do all that due diligence, right? They're using the right stuff for the right job, for the right application. Mm-hmm. And sign shops, I think oftentimes don't do that. We're just like, well, I have this roll. Let's use it. Will it work?
Sitting here,
it's like, will it work? And even if they call us, like, will it work? And we'll be like, I mean, like, maybe. Like, it's not for that, but like, I mean, in theory, right, it could go, but like, I mean, why would you even? It's not worth the risk half the time. And I feel like they're not as. It oftentimes feel like they're not as concerned with, will this work long term? It's more like, if I do this today, well, can I get it on? And be like,
yeah, it's just maybe. Like, it's just like the Christmas video that we did, and I started. Remember my picture? I was putting it everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's not what it's for. Yeah. It's just like, but I made it work.
Yeah.
That's kind of the reality.
Is there a difference there between kind of a transactional mindset that, right, I just want to get this job done versus, I'll say a product management mindset of what is my desired outcome? What are my materials that I have to work with, and taking it from that, and even from sign shop management, right? You need to be, if you're doing wall graphics, you need to be doing a site survey. You need a checklist on what paint was used. When was it painted last? Right. Were there any repairs to the wall? Mm-hmm. Basically setting yourself up for success. I was just reading on LinkedIn yesterday. They were talking about the Hertz. I think it was Hertz and Avis and one other that they had done a e-commerce website design. They wanted a new app and an interactive thing, and they over 2.5-3 years spent $32 million on development of an app that never ended up working. They didn't have design of scope. They didn't have any of the what are we hoping to get out of this? What are the measurables and deliverables and stuff? They didn't look at it from a project standpoint. They just kept throwing things at it and changing as they went along, and taking that time, like just sit for a second, think about, all right, where are we going with this? What do we actually want to do versus just running headlong crazy into it?
It's hard for me to think, because I think safety and precision just cost you time. If you break out, that was coming. Listen, when I did the walls in my basement, when I had to, like Tony said, use the level, what for? It looks straight.
It's a hammer. That's what you're using the level for.
Okay, so I came from here from I was at a Grand Valley State University, and there was a wall graphic in the stadium that had been done using our material, and you could see it's popping, lifting in certain areas. I'd even talked to the installer about, all right, slow it down, right? Slow down. And man, I looked at it. You could see these areas where he was really diligent there and not so diligent right there. And talking to the sign shop that he'd done the install for, and they said, well, we told him that it needs to be all sealed down. And his response was that that's not realistic for us to go and spend that time and slow heat and slow roll the entire wall mural that's out there. And then I'm with Matt Ferguson out in Boston yesterday, and he's talking about, I think it was a 30-foot by 75-foot mural that he and a buddy did. It took him 2.5 days to heat roll that whole thing. But taking your time, slowing down on stuff like that. You know how many times the installer's been back to Grand Valley to lay down edges and reheat and okay, is it more expensive to do it right the first time? You know that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's funny when it comes down to cost, right? A lot of times you're having a conversation, hey, we're trying to do a van, right? The van's what it always comes down to. It comes down to a van, right? And you're like, this is the material I'm using. How much is this material, right? And you quote them. They're using calendar. And you quote them casting. Oh, that's way more expensive, like per job cost. And you'd be like, okay, yes, but and some of them, maybe they want to redo the van 4 times, right? If you want to redo the van 4 times, and that's how you make your money, okay, you do you, right? But if you don't want to have to touch it again and you're going to put it on there and you want it to be 5, 6, 7, 8 years that it's going to be on there and then the van's going to go away, there's the right material. And if you do the installation right, you're never going to touch it again. Right. And it's never going to change. It's going to look the same 6 years from now as it does originally. You're going to get some fading in there. But besides that, I mean, no one's going to notice, it's not going to start peeling off. It's just going to be on there good, permanently. And I think a lot of the wall mirrors are the same way, right? If you put a wall mirror on, people are just going to assume it's painted on there. Sure. It's just going to be on there for years. It's going to look the same. You'll get fading, which is the same thing that paint does. It's not any different. So, but all of that just comes down to if they're willing to do the work up front and do it properly, I guess.
Yep. So with that, when we talk about wall graphic, and that's near and dear to my heart because I've been the wall product manager for 6 years now with GF, developing a lot of those lines and those solutions. That's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. I training mural on the wall, and I talk about a guy down in Kalamazoo Sign Center that they had done an install using 229 HTR, Walmart canvas. And in this one bike shop that they're in, it's failing, it's falling off the wall. And I immediately go in problem solver mode of, okay, what do we know about the paint? What do we know about the surface? Can you send me a picture? Let's start to address the variables here. But Ryan said, he's like, man, this is why I do vehicles and I avoid wall graphics. There are too many variables when we're talking about this stuff. And I'm like, wait a second, time out. Because yes, there are a lot of variables with the paint type and with the surface texture and with the materials that I can use. But if I take the time to understand what my options are, what my objectives are, if I practice, be curious about what materials are out there, I can make as much in 2 hours doing a wall mural as I can in 4 days doing a vehicle wrap. So running away from that stuff because you don't understand the variables or you're not willing to do the work on that, you're leaving money on the table. Or vice versa, guys are like, you know what, I'm just going to use cast on walls because I can't have it fail. I don't want to come back and do it again. And man, there are so many other materials other than cast for a flat surface, smooth painted drywall. That's way overkill. That's like doing bumper stickers with cast vinyl. Can you? Should you?
Or do you need to? Is what it comes down to.
Yeah, right.
I feel like that's what I always coming back to. Do we need to do it this way though? Is this? Sure, we can. That's what I said at the beginning. Can we do it? Yeah. I mean, probably, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of these materials that we're talking about are super versatile. We can use them in all sorts of applications. Yeah. What they're recommended for and what people use them for, sometimes they're two very different things, right?
Yep.
But oftentimes it just comes out to, we can, but should we? Mm-hmm. Should we do it that way?
So how do you filter that? How do you help somebody navigate that if they call you and they're talking through, they're like, hey, this is the material I have. Will this work for the application? How do you walk them through that?
No, it will not work. You need a different roll.
You need
buy more vinyl.
Yeah, you need five. You need 5 rolls of this product.
You better try
4
one
of them.
each.
You got to test.
A lot of it just comes down to you're just asking the questions. How long are you going to put it up for?
Right. That's a big question.
And oftentimes, like if you have a product that I wouldn't recommend for a job, but you're telling me like, hey, I need it up, I need it up 3 months, right? I'm not even going to fight you on it. Will it stick? And my brain will just go like, more than likely for 3 months, it's going to stick. Right. And most of that time, 3 months is an exaggeration. They need it up for like 2 weekends and then that thing is done, right?
Yep.
Am I going to switch you to a new product so that you can have it up for a few weeks? Probably not worth your time or the customer's time.
Right.
If you're going to put up for a long time though, then it just becomes a question of like, okay, if you're doing vehicles and it's going to be on there a while, you're doing walls, it's going to be up there a while. Let's make sure we use the right product, because what you don't want to do is come back, because regardless of, we always talk about this too with like, oh, maybe we'll get like a manufacturer defect. And I'd be like, probably 99 out of 100 times when someone thinks they have a defective product, it comes down to installer error. And we always joke that like, we always joke about not saying this on the podcast because we don't want to tell people about it, but like more than likely we just make it right. And the customer is thinking like, oh, they got paid from the vendor. And we were just like, this is not going to be worth our time. We'll just take the return and we'll be done with it. We're not going to get a return. We know it's not a defective product. But if you're thinking about that and you're thinking like, oh, I'll just if something goes wrong, then we'll just, get a new one and go up there. Like, it's a waste of our time. It's a waste of your time. It's definitely gonna be a waste of your money to do it wrong. To do it wrong twice is way more expensive than doing it right one time.
Sure. Even if it means getting a new roll of vinyl for what you actually should be using. And so I try it from a product education standpoint, break it down into the features of the film. We talk about thin films and thick films, calendared, cast. What can we expect from those? Thick film's going to be really easy to handle. Thin film's going to have more conformability. Polymeric versus a monomeric. I'm going to get more life and durability, more function and feature out of a polymeric than I will out of a cheap and shiny, don't see the light of day kind of monomeric vinyl. I'm not going to wrap a car with a monomeric. I'm going to do high-end calendared or cast to go with that. And we talk about tack and bond and understanding the surface. I think actually understanding the surface, what you're sticking to, that is the most important thing. And that is the pivotal element that the adhesive and the film, really the solution that you go to, is all based on what am I sticking to. So if you don't understand that part.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that we do have a lot of customers that call us and they ask us, which is the key point of this conversation. Because if I know there are some shops, and I'm not going to mention any names, that will say that I have this roll that is sitting there, not making anything on it. I'm just going to use it, which some applications it will work and some applications it's not going to work. But it's that whole conversation of educating the customer to understand, look, we are an outlet. We are a source for you. Your sales reps, well, some are a source as well. But, when you have customers that don't want to call you the sales rep, that's a problem. Or reach out to a vendor. We don't want to bombard our customers to start calling our vendors. We want to be that middleman right there. We want to be able to educate our customers. I know that there are a lot of competitors of ours that just call the vendor, and that's not how Wensco works.
Sorry to interrupt you guys, but I just want to take a minute to talk about Nakusa, the name behind our tape. Our tape's the #1 application tape out there, but they are more than just tape now. Nakusa has a full range of products out there. Their new one is called NextBond. This is a UV cured adhesive. Why does that matter? It's an eco-friendly and durable option, but comparable to most of the eco-friendly options, this is a cost-effective product. So if you're looking for an eco-friendly product or a durable product or just in general a good vinyl, NextBond is going to be the one for you. This is available at Wensco.com as well as all of their other products. So check it out at Wensco or reach out if you have any questions. Oh, and don't forget to use your Nakusa bucks. Have you heard about Metamark? Metamark is a company that sells premium graphic solutions for commercial and fleet signage. So whether that's walls or it's vehicles or it's tables or doors, we loved it so much we put it all over the podcast studio. So you can check it out on our videos or at Wensco.com. We talked about be curious. I mean, we've mentioned it probably a few times in this, but that's oftentimes what it comes down to, right? If you have a job and you haven't done it before, it's a wall surface you're unfamiliar with, like what we would prefer you do was call us ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because usually how this phone call works, it's like, hey, what do you guys recommend for brick walls? And you'd be like, oh, I recommend, here's a couple I would recommend. And they'll be like, okay.
I would only recommend General Formulations.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
GF 885. Yeah.
885, 285.
That's all I would recommend.
You can even do high tech permanent. We focus a lot on removable films, and I realize that from
GF.
that all of our wall products are removable. And why do we do that? We do that from it's point of purchase. It's going into convention centers and things. I know shops that only use 230 Automark and a matte lam for all their wall graphics. It behaves like a cast. You're looking for that cast feel on walls. You don't need a cast film. High-end calendar, shoot, it's great. It's still airgrass and workable. Others that they're like, we use 201 HTAP. We go with the high-tech permanent because I don't care about removal. I just want it to stay. I can't have it fail. I don't care about removal. That is not my problem. It's going into a hair salon that they're only going to be in that space for 3 years, and they're planning on a new build out when they go. Permanent is great, but there are trade-offs with that too, right? That I lose my workability. I can't reposition that panel, especially if I'm using high tech and they only primed the walls and it's like contractor grade, let's say. You lose a lot of that.
Yeah. So, but I always feel like the conversation goes like, oh, what product do you recommend for brick walls? Right. And you'll be like, oh, I recommend A, B, and C. And they'll be like, well, I tried this and it didn't work. You're like, this is too late. We're too late in the conversation here. Okay.
I got to repaint the wall now because it's permanent.
Like they're hoping.
Took the drywall off.
Yeah. They're hoping I was going to say,
I can't match this color.
Whatever they use.
Whatever they use. So then they have a way out. But then they're like, yeah, you're like, you already put on the wall. What are you calling me for?
I printed it. I tried installing it. Any ideas on how to fix this? It's like, well,
I hear you guys have paint. Can you match?
Do you guys sell Sherwin-Williams over there? I tried this product, not recommended. I can tell you that much. Yeah, but
I have to go to Sherwin-Williams today, and that's like the enemy right now.
It is.
Oh,
but I still have to go there. Like they have the paint I need for my house. That's everybody recommends it.
You can always go Repco Light.
Everybody says get this because I need the matte black. What do they call it? So it dries before it hits the floor. It's their word.
Oh, they're
something
like
dry,
ceiling fall, whatever stuff.
Yeah, dry fall.
Yeah,
matte black dry fall. They said is the best ceiling paint you can get for what I'm doing.
So that's right. You're spraying the
you have exposed rafters and
that's what he wants to spray it.
Fire extinguisher stuff going on up there.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna spray everything. All the packs, everything that's in the ceiling in the basement's getting sprayed matte black.
There you go.
It's gonna look like the Batcave when he's done.
And then
he's going for.
And then we should probably get him a Christmas gift with little neon stars that light up.
For the kid. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Hey, we'll go over there one night and just put them up there.
Yeah. Speaking of adhesive, those things not recommended. Yeah. Don't leave those things up there. I don't know what adhesive they use on those things. Not good though. It doesn't come off.
The little glow in the
dark stars
with the little adhesive patches. Yeah, those even razor blade,
nasty rubber based adhesive or
not fun.
High tech solvent stuff.
Oh, now that we say that for the kids. How many kids do you have?
Oh.
Married? How long?
So, all right.
We're going backwards.
Tyler never asked the question in the beginning. He's supposed to ask that in the very beginning.
Your family.
So I'd say 3 plus 2. So I have 3 of my own.
Okay.
23, 19, and almost 16. My daughter.
Okay.
And then my fiance has 13 and 10. So,
okay. So you got
we'll be adding a couple onto there.
You got a basketball team.
Got a basketball team.
I like it.
One of them plays wheelchair basketball. The others, a couple of them are around. But a lot of hockey kids. The younger 3. My daughter's a sled hockey player here with the Grand Rapids Sled Wings. It's pretty cool, double amputee. And like, if you've never seen it, it's crazy. Kids sitting in sleds with little hockey sticks that have spikes on the end, and they're chasing around the ice. And she is a brute. She's just pretty solid. Actually, not long ago, we did with Mary Freebed here in downtown. We did a trailer wrap with them with our 830 material. And so maybe you saw in Digital Output or one of those that they had highlighted that press release and thing. We rewrapped their wheelchair and amputated sports program.
She's not missing any teeth or anything like that?
No.
Elbows or anything like that?
Not yet.
opponents, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's this one little kid though. We play against a team like Columbus, Pittsburgh, with a lot of road tournament things, and there was one little kid on the Columbus team that he was apparently using his naughty words out there, and just a little dude, and she's a brute. She just takes and like pushes him sideways, and he went 3 feet and flopped over on the side. It's pretty great. She's like, no, don't have any patience for that. We were playing a tournament in Canada, and their junior team is more based on skill. So there were 40-year-olds that were on their junior team that we were playing against, and she knocked one of them over, and they didn't get back up. I mean, it's wow. Which, Domingo, you understand with the creaking noises you made getting up in the chair.
Absolutely.
Old people don't quite move quite the same.
Yeah, if you hear the squeaking, it's not the chairs. Actually, it's just Domingo's legs.
Got to oil it up a little bit. The joints.
His hinges.
The joint. I've been looking for joint pills.
Yeah, we've got recommendations. Take some. So the other thing with General Formulations specifically that I think has come up, and we sent someone to your booth at RapsCon talking about this, is we were talking about the entire concept of HTR just in general, and how this doesn't make any sense to anybody. Right. Because in most people's heads, right, you have low tack, which is removable, and then you have high tack, which is permanent, right? That's kind of what we've grown up with, at least. So now when you explain to people, they're like, yeah, I need like a short term, but it's on porta potties. And you're like, historically speaking, it's like your only option is the worst adhesive we can possibly get, and it will never come off.
It'll never come off. Yeah.
And so now we're trying to explain to people, there's options for that, where you have a high tack adhesive, but if you want to peel it off, you just can peel it off. And I think you guys showed this to me at GPX Indy. This must have been 2 years ago now, probably. And I was just like, this doesn't even make sense in my head. When I stick it down, you feel the adhesive. So if you want to explain kind of what that is and where that fits in, where people might not know that they should be using it.
Sure. Well, and to like help wrap your brain around a little bit more, do you know any low tack permanent adhesives?
So I know they have, well, some of them now.
The original SLX Plus. Yeah. No, the original SLX was a low tack permanent. Yeah. The original.
That was low tack non-adhesive, but that was vehicle static point. Are we allowed to crap talk?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
We're talking about the old version.
Yeah, the old version.
There's one on the wall that's on the other side of this wall that we put up.
Staples? It's stapled up?
No, it went up and it stayed up, but it is never coming down. The one that's in Bob's office was the original. The original SLX, where like it took a long time to whatever
to wet out, to bond to the surface,
and now it's bonded for life.
So it's going to peel the paint off.
Oh, you ain't taking it off.
Interesting.
Now, I was wondering why he had it up there.
Yeah, it's not,
so again, when we're making good choices, right, we need to understand what it is that we're working with, and in that, which glue is right for you. We do this really nerdy dad magic thing about when we understand the surface, and that some surfaces, even this tabletop doesn't like stuff sticking to it, which is why the Metamark thing is just kind of floating over there. Sorry, I'm taking license with talking crap about competitors. Love you, Josh. Good news.
Good.
We can't use Metamark on the table. That's top secret information.
So
wait.
But sticking
that Metamark
to material
sticker's not Metamark.
It's General Formulations. That's the only way it's going to stick on this surface.
I refuse to say what it is.
I refuse to. But
Josh, if you hear this, you can ask me about it though.
I don't know. Oh, man.
But we do have it on our website for sale.
Okay. Subject train. Back on track.
All right. Sorry.
So when we talk about tack and bond, tack as it relates to bond, again, understanding surfaces. Some surfaces don't like things to interact with it. Glass, everything. That's high surface energy. Everything likes to stick to it. Plastic, even flip over your release liner, your 90-pound liner that's polyethylene coated. Put a drop of water on it and it beads up. Take that same drop of water, put it on a piece of glass, and it goes flat because that glass is high surface energy. It likes stuff bonding to it. The plastic doesn't like stuff sticking to it. Powder coated metals kind of behave the same way. Flat painted walls behave the same way. All right. If you take a sticker and you put it on glass, you put it on a tabletop, you know that right away I can lift, I can reposition, even high tack. Generally, I can move it around. Come back 15 minutes later, that's a little more tricky. Come back 24 hours later, forget about it. That thing's stuck on there because bond happens over time. So we think about tack is my stick right now. Bond is my stick over time. So on things that don't like stuff sticking to it, I need something that's more aggressive. just like a vehicle wrapper, I can have low tack, slidable, but when that's squeegeed and that's heat set, I post heated, that's permanent. That's on there until it's time for me to take it off with heat, right? I'm going to change the form and pull it off. Well, just like I can do low tack permanent, I can do low tack removable, I can do high tack permanent, I can do high tack removable. So it's changing the characteristics of that initial stick and changing the characteristic of how that bond builds with different surfaces over time. So I mean, it's tweaks to the chemistry. There's a reason they call us general formulations and not, I don't know, something other than formulations.
I walked by general formulations every day going to school for however many years I went to school.
With your broken leg?
With my
uphill.
Uphill. I mean, no, it's pretty flat. Yeah. I mean, I literally walked from, where the old high school is. Mm-hmm. My house is on the other side of that. That used to be a fence. My house on the other side. And then where they put all those new houses on the other side of town. So second and third grade, we had to walk to second and third grade, which was about a mile. But I used to walk by that place. We always thought you made cereal. General formulations, got to be cereal.
Yeah.
And general. So we were talking about that earlier. Like, how did it become general formulations? And the exact name, like, yeah, how that got formulated, if you will. General Formulations started as General Assembly in 1953, and it was making screen print, automated screen print equipment. Before then, it was, I'm going to take one image, I'm going to screen that, I'm going to set it on a rack, load up my material for the next one, screen that image, load it on a rack, and that.
We have customers that still do it that way.
Still do it that way, and more power to them. There are better ways, I'm sure, that you could sell them. Yep. But that first semi-automated equipment that went into a kind of a stacked rack system, they still have one at Continental Print up in Sparta. They still use that same exact system. So it's like conveyor of those drying racks. And from that, GF, we then advanced into some of the inks that went into that material, because you're going to buy a huge piece of equipment once, right? We want to sell the consumables as well. So went into formulating inks to use in that. And we're talking the lottery scratch off inks and different colors and things. And then from there, it's, we need the substrates that go that material goes onto. And a lot of our history was focused on point of purchase. Convenience store, gas station, the auto parts store and what they were putting up in their window. So a lot of that removable adhesive stuff was core. That was foundational to General Formulations getting into those spaces, regular change out stuff, point of purchase. So it makes sense that our technology, when it comes to removable adhesives from walls, from brick walls, from vehicles, transit type materials, those regular change out, not really commodity, but short-term point of purchase, advertising, retail type materials, those have been our superpower from the beginning. Floor graphics as well, the cure for COVID, as it were.
Mm-hmm. The one that we were just talking about this week with another vendor, but the thing I find interesting is people that have been using the same material in their shops for years, right? Yeah. We talk about the joke that nothing ever gets discontinued in our industry, because there's one giant customer that has been using it for forever, and they refuse to change to anything else.
Yep.
And you'll do a demo with somebody where be like, hey, have you seen this before? And they'll be like, no, I've never seen this before. Be like, okay, well, let's try it, right? Yep. You're familiar with another material, try this one. And their minds will just be like blown when they go to use. I mean, like when I saw 885 for the first time, right? And we put it down on the wall, and then you're like, peel it up. And
let's go move it to somewhere else.
So
and we
peel it up, heat the whole thing down. Looks like I never did anything with it. Put it on a whole new wall, squeegee it right back down.
I think we did it 4 or 5 times with that same sample.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that concept to people that do walls previous to that technology coming out didn't even make sense, right? Mm-hmm. The idea of even lifting it up didn't make sense to most of them, right? They're so used to a material that as soon as it touches, we're done. I can't touch it again. If it touches itself, we're done. If it touches the wall, we're done. Anything at all, it's over.
Yep.
And they'll see this and be like, how do I not know about this? We'll be like, well, you've been buying the same material for 17 years. You never asked anybody if there's another one, right? Like if you're not like out there looking at it, looking for new stuff that's out there, sometimes you'll be like, this guy is down the streets quoting this way cheaper than me, and be like, yeah, it takes him 45 minutes to do it. It takes you 6 hours. Right. Like, and it's just material, right? Like if you're not using the right job, you're like, man, I've been fighting this thing for days, and the other guy's been done for 5 hours. He already went to lunch and came back, right?
Right. But with that curiosity, you can also, you need to be curious about the technique that you're using as well. So I've watched people and And in those beat the crap out of it tests that we did, even with 885, it was to the installers, install this just like you would X, competitive product where you're using 8624, 480 or 1106, whatever you're using for those brick wall wraps right now, 8200 even, use the same installation method because they're all high-tech permanent. And so I need to really carefully hit my touch point for my alignment, and then I'm going to heat and relax to get that film to set down so that I keep registration between the panels, because there's no chance that I'm moving that once it's already up. And I took 885. We were down at Wrap Sesh down in Phoenix and doing a big install, 10 feet by 75 feet on the wall with Vinyl Vixen and Slim Shetty down there, Jess, Mike. And we were, because of the way they were doing it, and they were on the scaffolding, and Mike was up top, and he'd set the panel and hand it down to Jess, and she's doing the lower half. We were 5 panels in and taking our lunch break, and we realized, 7 panels in, and realized at panel 5, there was a slight misalignment right at that overlap between the panels where they had done the transition. It was right where the scaffolding was. And he's like, well, that happens sometimes. We'll just have to live with the misalignment. I said, well, but hold on, Mike. This is a removable adhesive. Can you get under there with your knife? And he popped it up. He stretched the material out, heated, set it back down, flawless. And there's no way you'd be able to do that with the standard permanent adhesive brick wall material. It was fantastic. And we also think about that, high tech. If you ever fold that material over onto itself, or you're doing a 20-foot tall mural and the wind blows and it folds over and touches, you're done. And with the HTR, you can still pull it apart. That's pretty cool. Again, we're thinking about what is the most user-friendly, install-friendly, workable, usable design that we can do for that solution. That one, I'm pretty proud of that one.
Yeah, you look at it from, you talked about the beginning where you're looking at it from, okay, here's what we recommend you do to it, and here's what people will actually do with it, right? And when we did the wrap classes with 830, like the demo that we always did at the beginning, is stretch that material out as far as you can, right, where it looks horrible. And we did it in like a 5-gallon bucket, right? Push your fist through as far as you can, and then just heat it and watch it come back. And the example we're doing there is one, like, realize this material can stretch pretty far. Should you stretch it that far? No, but know that it can. Second thing is know that, like, if you mess something up, you almost always can fix it. We joke about this all the time in the wrap class. Like, it is so hard. Previous to you touching it with a knife, it's really hard for you to mess something up that we couldn't fix it as long as it's the same day, right before that starts bonding. But if you're not using any material that has that baked in, like the real world application is, a lot of times you're going to mess something up when you're doing the install, right? You're not paying attention to your squeegee, be like, oh shoot, I messed it up. I'm already 6 strokes in. I don't have a choice now. It's already on the wall. If you're not using a material that's made to be forgiving. So is it more expensive? Yes. But you know what's really expensive? Having to reprint a panel when you're in the middle of a job. So all of your guys have to go back home. You got to wait 2 days, and then they all got to go back out there.
That's more
again.
Material though.
Yeah, but it's a lot of time.
So Mike, are you officially saying is the Wensco line, feel free to screw up out there on the job site?
Mess it up as much as you want.
We've said it many times.
All right.
Print it wrong, apply it wrong. We don't care. Laminate it wrong. We don't care. Buy another roll.
I was just about to say, I think Tyler's describing himself when he was talking about the errors and stuff.
Yeah. I need as many potential points of failure to be avoidable as possible, okay? Because I'm going to hit every single one of them along the way. You're going to be like, Tyler, how did you do that? And be like, I don't even know at this point.
All right, but are you one? So I have to screw up. I have to have my hands on it. I have to mess it up in order to learn and to understand. Right. I was always I had to burn my hand on the stove at least 2 times before I'd listen to Mom. Like I needed that level of explore, hurt yourself. Mike, we know
that's
about you.
Be hot. That's going to be hot. You're not going to understand that, but
he was my bet you won't touch it. How long?
Double dog dare?
I bet I'm going to get a day off school for this.
Saved you that walk, though, with the broken leg.
Yep, that's
good.
right.
That's good.
Didn't have to walk by that cereal company.
It doesn't smell like cereal.
But no, 100%. I mean, like, we joked about these walls, like, where I was like, have I done anything to this scale? Definitely not. I think probably previous to this, I'd done 2 panels together.
Yep.
No corners, right? I haven't done doors. I haven't done any of it. And you're just like, I mean, I don't know. I've sat in enough wrap class. This should be pretty simple, right? You do the first panel and you're like, this is gonna be a lot harder than I thought it's gonna be.
Oh my God.
And you get like 2
Just
panels in.
This little corner right here, it was like a day and a half he had to get that on.
Yeah.
And you just never know.
I mean,
you don't know
it's
what's gonna
straight.
be.
It's a straight line at least. I mean, it looks good.
I think if we really sold it, it really looks like someone knew what they were doing when they put this up. As long as you squint your eyes.
You keep telling yourself that.
It looks really good from that camera with a really wide lens. Okay, don't zoom in, please. But no, 100%. Yeah, I mean, if you're not willing to get your hands on it and try it, and I think a lot of times that's what it is, like, especially with some of these products that have been around a super long time, is the original installers that were at the company that were like, hey, we only use this product, right?
Yeah.
They're not even working there anymore. And then the owner's still like, yeah, my installers will only use this material. And then they ask the installers and they're like, I don't know, this is all we've ever had. We haven't tried the other ones.
Right.
And you put the other ones in their hands and you're like, oh, this is good. Like, I don't see what the problem is. And we had that during COVID, right? Where a bunch of materials no longer became available. Everyone tried new films and then they were just like, I don't know, this one works pretty well too. I don't know what the deal was with the other one, but if you're not willing to try them, I think you're just going to be stuck, right? And these new materials are going to come out. They're going to be faster. They may not always be cheaper, right? They might be more expensive, but what you may find is that you have less errors. You got to go out in the field less often, and you have to fix less mistakes with the materials that you have.
Yep. Cost is only one portion of it. Yeah.
And especially, we always joke about it with like, how much, like, what are you charging the customer, right? They're like, yeah, that's like $150 more than the last one I bought. And you'd be like, how much are you making on the job? Right? Like, what is that $150 to you really? Like, I understand it's $150, regardless of which way you spin it. But if you're like, yeah, but what you're making, like, just add it. And they're like, yeah, but my customer won't pay that. And be like, what I can promise you
tried?
What I can promise you with dealing with lots and lots of customers is nobody's ever been like, yeah, I raised my price and we went out of business. No one ever tells me that story. It's usually like, oh,
well,
yeah, we couldn't
can't.
afford
They're out
it.
of business.
Well, I mean, maybe.
They're working as a Walmart greeter now. My goodness.
That's Domingo's dream job, so don't talk badly of the Walmart greeter.
No, not that one. No.
You don't work at Walmart?
No. Mine is
line cook at Chipotle.
Let's say that's a receipt, okay? Hold that. Now you hand it to me.
Oh, yeah.
The Costco.
He wants to be a Costco checkout person.
You don't have to do that anymore. Your job's getting automated away before you got to it. Before you got to retirement.
Great.
I came and took it from you.
I got checked at Walmart just recently. And normally you have like old white guy status. You just walk by, right? Like, I'm sorry if that's politically incorrect, but it's true. You have old white guy status.
Just keep walking.
You just walk by.
Walking.
This guy's like, I need to see her the receipt. So I had to show him. You want to know how? We should just tell. Let me tell the whole story.
At Walmart or at Sam's Club?
At Walmart. So Tater, I was in Walmart. I needed a trash can down by my washer and dryer. Tater sends me a picture. He's got this little like 32-inch TV in his garage. So he pans around in his garage. I'm in Walmart. Looked at that 65-inch TV. I said, sending him a picture later. Put that bad boy in my cart. Got home, put it on the wall in my garage. I said, oh, that's a cute little TV you have in your garage. He wrote back, you jerk.
That makes sense. Yeah, that checks out. But yeah, I mean, I think that was a pretty good conversation.
So before Mike derailed us, we were talking about kind of trying new materials, and sample culture. No, that's fine. And I agree with that. So from a product education standpoint, I've started to develop some poster size samples, and we do this for vehicle wrap materials because sending a little swatch book is not enough material to play around with. And sending a sample roll pretty much guarantees that you've got something new that's going to sit in the corner of your shop for 3 months.
I've said that since the day I started here, because I always used to send 5-yard rolls and then 5 yards of laminate.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to print it, laminate, and then try it. Why don't you guys just print them?
Yeah. Yeah. So that we've got a bunch of posters with different wall materials so that you can, and that was an education thing of Walmart light, so 227, 3.4 mil. We've got the traditional 226, so I can feel how the thin film feels versus the thick film with the same exact adhesive. It's a totally different experience. It's a different install. It's a different look on the wall. And the HTR, so 229 HTR, and how do those 3 wall materials kind of stack up? Because it's not a good, better, best for that application. They all work. It's just what's the aesthetic that you're looking for, what's the install that you're looking for. And we've got now that we're doing that with some of the window graphics as well, and we'll continue to expand, because in a quick demo, hands-on in the shop, to experience different materials like that, I think is super valuable. Instant feedback, again, on walls and windows, especially vehicle wraps. You may need, I need to play around with the panel. I may need some additional training, and we're working on developing that as well. Additional training for what are the best practices with this film, what are the best tips and techniques and everything.
I think one thing that you hit on was that we probably should add is that a lot of the times there are novices out there, and there are very experienced installers out there. So they know the tricks and the tricks of the trade, But if you get a product like you're talking about, just a sample so that they can play with, I guarantee you a novice versus an experienced person, they are both going to do it differently.
Yeah.
And that's the whole key of getting that product in your hand, to just try it and figure out what works best. Because there's going to be people that can just get it, put it on, and they can go around a fender or whatever it may be. But then a novice is going to be like, all right, I got to touch this point here. And, it's just like, yeah. So
they start squeegeing it right away, and then they're pulling it.
Yeah, and then pull it and then rip it up and pull it back. Yeah.
I mean, you can learn all that stuff on YouTube.
Yeah. Listen, if you heat it up enough, it'll stick.
Heat and smash.
Yeah.
Heat and smash.
What they say, forever. It'll never pop back up. That's what it says on the YouTube video.
The question for you, do you watch those YouTube videos and go like me, like I'm just shaking my head like that's not even close to right? Like there's so many, there's some good ones, but there's so many bad ones that are like, oh, do this. And like, he's literally got it so hot that it's melting, and then he sucks it around the mirror, quickly trims it. Tomorrow, you're going to see half the mirror.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tomorrow, you will see the mirror. Yeah. I know, because look at my truck.
Yeah. Again, we know how to do it wrong because we've done it.
Yeah, because you've done it.
And I've seen it. When you watch that video, I say, yep, I've done that one before. I can tell you what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, half the time you're like watching those videos and you're like typing out the comment. You're like, nobody cares. Nobody's going to read this comment.
Yeah, nobody's going to read the comment. Yeah.
I am going to start installing this differently. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that one.
Not only that, I'm sending you a $10,000 PO for the material and the tools you recommend.
Here's what you should use and why. They don't care at all.
Yeah,
right?
probably not.
But I mean, that's kind of what some of these people are running up against, right? Is they're running into people that are installing out of the garage poorly.
Yeah.
They don't understand how any of their margins or how much money they need to make. And you're like, how am I supposed to compete with them? You're not. That's what I keep telling them. You're not supposed to compete with them. They're all going to run themselves out of business. Yep. If your customer is willing to go to somebody that's working out of their garage, they weren't going to be your customer in the first place, right? They were either going to be that type of customer, or they were never going to wrap their car in the first place. That's what I tell people.
But Tyler, you have 1,000 views on that one that you did it wrong.
Yeah. We're doing a good job. That's why.
There's a difference between views and like valid teaching curriculum. And like I can talk about nerdy about adhesives and films and things, and I know enough to be able to install something. I'm not an installer trainer, and that's where we lean on, on Preston and on Dallas and even Justin Pate, pulling some of their lessons. So I would caution people out watching the YouTube videos, make sure you're watching somebody that's not, Joey Bag of Donuts from shooting from the log cabin.
And we see them, and I just kind of look at them and just kind of shake my head. But you can't, and you also can't show everything on YouTube too. So some of these guys, give them credit. Okay, you're not showing everything, but yeah, I'm gonna start making my own pretty soon.
Yeah, I think we could do it.
I saw one the other day that I just cringed, that they were wrapping a vehicle. He's wrapping a door. He had the handle still on there, and he was just covering it up, slicing it,
and tucking it in.
I'm like,
stretch that bad boy in there. There'll just be a seam.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll never notice.
Just cover it with some black vinyl or something in there. Yeah, there are 1,001 ways to do it wrong.
Yeah.
And yeah, probably 1,000 ways that you can get away with. Just add a bunch of primer and that'll stick in there.
We should do a video of what not to do. Meaning take the clips of everybody that's doing it wrong and say, don't do it this. Don't do it this way. Don't do it this way.
Well, I mean,
you'd probably get a lot of hits.
Honestly, I could just wrap a car. We'd probably get 75 short videos on what not to do. It wouldn't be that hard.
All right, but you could even start with fundamentals, and that, as we start doing our trainings, we'll start with the fundamentals, and it's even how do you hold your squeegee? You know, how does this go in your hand?
Chop,
right? Or am I following?
One, I use the big one.
Squeegee school and following my lines.
I use the window tint one. Come on, what's
24-inch squeegee for the door.
But that
waste time.
Guys, before we leave today, I just wanted to ask you one quick question, and that is, what is a pirate's favorite application tape? R-tape. R-tape is the #1 application tape in the United States, and it comes with an RLA, which is a release liner adhesion, meaning it's going to stick to the liner. Even on cut graphics, if you roll it, it's not going to tunnel, wrinkle, or curl, or anything like that. So if you're looking for the best application tape for cut graphics out there, R-tape RLA is for you, and you can get it at Wensco.com.
I got to be on site with Justin Pate doing an install, and man, that guy, he just has kind of a calming presence. He's super good at what he does, but it's just like, it's calm, it's mellow, and you watch it and it's just methodical. And when you're hacking and you're swiping and you're heating and stretching and beating stuff up, you're attempting to make accommodations versus just working with the film. And I don't care if it's these guys or those guys or the other guys. All of our materials are designed for the applications. You need to understand how to work with them. You need to experiment, play around, understand how to work with those best. If you're fighting and trying to force a material to do something, you're probably doing it wrong. You're going to lead to failure. We like to eliminate or reduce those potential failure modes. Again, just take your time. We were talking about at RapsCon, the 2 teams for the Rap Olympics challenge, and we had this giant Rap Wars brick wall logo thing. And the teams had 10 minutes. You need to get alignment. You need to be centered. You need to be level with the logo. And then at the end, you just have to heat and roll that center logo section. And the group of guys, they were out of San Francisco, like great job getting it leveled. Also really fun to watch. Do they use magnets around the metal frame? Do they rip the whole liner off and start going? Are they doing a hinge? Like, to watch everybody's approach, their different technique to the approach and how they're measuring and where they're measuring from. But these guys, it came to, all right, everything's leveled, it's down, it's up. They've got about 5 minutes left on the clock to be able to heat and roll that center section. And they're both with heat guns and both with Rolly Pros. And they're just like, man, it was frantic, and their sweat dripping down, and like, I'm getting exhausted just watching them do it. And they're heating and rolling one area, and they're moving to the next and heating, and it's like just frantic, moving things around. And I'm exhausted. Time. All right, 10 minutes are up, guys. Okay. Heat, rollers down, everything, step away. That was, wow, I'm tired. Great job with the alignment. Can I give you one tip? And walked up and really, like I'm an old man taking a nap, like Domingo getting up in the chair, right? Really. and I just heat and roll just nice and slow, and it just melts right into the surface. And they'd been fighting it with popping out because it's not proper heat technique. They're like, we'd done that. We wouldn't have had enough time. We wouldn't have got it done. And I stop, think for a second. And they're like, shoot, we would have gotten it done, and it would have been pristine, right? So some of that stuff where you're all frantic and you're fighting the material, or you're leaning on primer 71 on the brick wall to just super glue everything in place, just slow down, play around with the material. Like, don't push it to its limits, work with the film, pay attention to the tension, all that good stuff.
Well, perfect. Well, I think
Rick said wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
I was say, I think that's a good way to wrap it up. I don't know how long we've been talking, because somebody's supposed to start the clock when they go, and I did not start it. So
that's nonsense.
Rick's the only one that's got a timer. He says 1. It's been 1 minute.
1 minute.
We got a long time yet.
Dude, we got another 59 minutes. We've been doing this thing for.
I want one more quick story real quick. And it goes with all this, like, plan ahead. So when I was building those walls in the basement, Tony said, always look ahead, always plan ahead. Like, because I've never built walls before. But what he didn't tell me is, and he said, do it in bigger sections if you can. So that way, like, it's all square and all put up. So I have this long wall in the basement, 52 feet. Did the whole wall on the floor.
Oh,
it's only me.
Now you got to lift it.
Now I have to pick the whole wall up. Like, that was Mike. Not planning ahead. Not even thinking about
planning. Like, man, think how straight this thing's going to be.
I got that thing perfect. Like, it's all on the floor. I'm like, man, it looks good. And I'm like, man, how am I going to stand this up? Didn't plan ahead. It's the same thing with rap. Like, okay, you're going to get to a point where you can't go any further. That's where I was.
Yeah.
Cat wouldn't help.
Nobody was there to help you.
Cat was getting yelled at.
Amish.
Well, that's
Oh,
at my
yeah.
Sparta house.
Raisin?
That's at my
Yeah.
Sparta house. That's not across the street from my Amish girlfriend.
No, it's got an Amish girlfriend.
Well, she's married and stuff, but she likes to feed me.
Yeah. She's just nice.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, thanks again for coming out on
Yeah,
this
thanks,
super
Jay.
long notice that we
Yeah,
gave
super
you.
long. We've been planning
I'm
this
glad
for
you-
like a year and a half now,
18
I think.
I'm glad you took the
technically
jet down.
Technically, we talked about it like a month and a half ago. So in a way, we kind of did plan. But then I was like, hey, are you free tomorrow?
I think that was 18 hours ago. Yeah.
That's pretty good. So
But hey,
No, works good.
we're
we-
big
we stay
planners around
flexible.
here.
We're,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
So it took you 15 hours to fly in, or 15
No, I got
minutes?
in around midnight last night.
He flew here
Yeah.
for the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
he
you
was
go.
busy, and I said, "Hey, can you come on the podcast?" He said, "I'm dropping everything. I'm flying home right now."
Where
Yeah.
do you live?
I'm in Grand Rapids here.
Oh, you live right here?
15 minutes away.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. He's giving away the secret. I was trying to imply that he flew here for the podcast.
Yeah,
I guess I assumed he lived farther away, but
I have a house here in Grand Rapids.
Yeah,
We can
there
leave
you
it
go.
like that. Yeah.
oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
And his second house is at the cereal place in Sparta.
He redirected the jet to come in.
I sleep under my desk
The jet
sometimes. Yeah.
said American Airlines on it, but that one just flew it over here.
That was the one.
So thanks again for coming out.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Jay.
This is the third time we've had General Formulations on the
Yeah.
podcast. So
All right.
we appreciate you guys. You guys have been good partners with us for a while and close to here, which makes it easier.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to ask people last minute to come on the podcast. So thanks again. Thanks guys for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. So
See ya.
Right.
bye.